Wow.
11 of them are coming home.
Are we going to be able to fit? Why didn't they bring the other car?
Oh, Peggy's renting a car. Probably waiting for Megan. She's got a coat in her bag.
Hi, hon.
Daddy. Really? You don't have to go downstairs. And you can watch them land. I know, we're all going. They're from Walmart. They're from Walmart in the men's section. All buy them together. They're in the men's section. They're so warm.
I said, you gotta try to see all tough. He's going,
Oh, children. I ain't gonna do a little video here. That's a video. Yeah, we're on video. Not with your mouth is full.
Really like Snickers.
Yeah. Snicker bar.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
This is a little bit. This is where we're going. Yeah.
I know I like smile for like 5 seconds.
Heather, you want to be sure and take these pictures.
Cool.
Gather the
Okay, we'll see what everybody's looking at here.
I'm like, I know. No, it's not actually. We're having Christmas dinner.
It's a product of how quickly they invent each other.
So from high school.
Not from high school. So from Cub Scouts. We Cub Scouts together in Virginia. Pratt's no, I know. Pratt's
Yeah.
Foster Pratt. How was school going, my friend?
I dreamt about the kind of woman that she would become and the kind of man that she would marry, and all of my dreams have come true. Okay. Christian is everything that I was hoping that you would find in a mate, and I just love him to pieces. And I'm just so proud of each of you. So wonderful. And I don't remember what else I was going to say. Oh, advice I was going to say, just remember the feelings that you have today. Just remember how much you love each other and everything.
So, Christian and Brooke, it seems like it was only 4 months ago that you were engaged. Time has gone fast. And again, Christian and I had a chance to sit down about 4 months ago when he told me of his intentions. And I'm going to go back quickly, a year and a half before that, when we were at another wedding. And we were sitting there and all of our kids were here. And Heather saw Christian Pratt and said, I wish Brooke could marry a boy like Christian Pratt. And so we're very, very, very happy. Christian is the type of man that we would hope our Brooke would marry. And so our hats off to Emma and Julia for raising such a wonderful son. Thank you. And for those of you who don't know Brooke, she's not very opinionated. And so not very decisive. So Christian, my only advice to you is wives are usually right, and if you remember that, you'll be happy. If you don't believe me, ask your brothers-in-law.
We are David and Eliza Wheeler, and this is Hannah, who was born 11 days ago. And we came from Virginia to celebrate this with Christian and Brooke. Christian and I are adopted brothers, and the advice that we have for them is to pray together every day.
Stop a minute. Someone writing this down. Would you somebody to write down the advice? That would be and that's helpful. You got crayons? Oh, Robin could shoot me this film. Great.
Okay, well, Carl was met with Amanda Worsham. I met Christian through my cousin, Nelson. And so, you know, Christian and I are cousins by choice. And then Brooke and Amanda met, and it was, you know, love at first sight. And they became instant friends. And then Christian and I had no choice but to continue to be friends because of that. But I'll go first and say whatever.
Yeah, so I guess the memory that I want to share is just going to the pool with Brooke when, like, right after their second date. And she was just, like, freaking out. She was like, he's so awesome, what do I do, what do I do?
She said everything twice.
Yeah. But they have just been so much fun, really, is what it comes down to. And they're just so great for each other, so I'm really happy with you guys.
I guess memory, but I was working at the NBC and coming and living in Riverton, so I was commuting up here every other day and sleeping over at where Christian and Jarman live, and sleeping on the couch. And so after he had his first day with Brooke, he came home, and it was like 1 in the morning.
No.
Well, that was after.
You're right. It was 2. It was 2 in the morning.
It was before curfew. It was before curfew.
It was whatever. It was late, so I was supposed to be asleep, but I hadn't fallen asleep yet. I was doing something, and so I was laying on the couch. Lights were out, and he walks in, turns on the light, and I'm just already staring at him, waiting for him to give me this update on this date. He actually went on a date with Brooke because he was like, "This other girl I'm kind of interested in, but I want to go on this other date to see how I feel." And then he was like, "What other girl? What? Where did she ever go? I don't know who she was." But yeah, immediately he was smitten. Didn't know that he was smitten, but he was. I guess our advice. I would say nothing is off limits as far as communication goes. It's far better to say whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, than to leave it unsaid and have the risk of them being hurt because you didn't tell them something. My vast experience being married for all 3 months, that's been a crucial thing. So anyway, good luck. Love you guys.
We're the Rubens. I'm Spencer. This is Sarah. So Christian and I were mission companions, and then roommates for a couple of years after that. And there are lots of good memories. I can't think of a specific one, but yeah, our advice.
Our advice is to, well, you probably have already done this, but you should probably make family goals so that it's great to have common goals. And so you're both trying to get better at the same time. That's it.
Thanks, guys.
Hello. I am Brooke's aunt, and I love her very much. She's always been always tons of energy, so happy, my memory is I remember when she moved away, when I lived in Mesa, and I was so sad that their family moved away, and I've always looked forward to this day, you know. And I remember when you came up here for EFY, and we went to Temple Square, and you know, you talked about someday when you'd be married, and now it's so exciting. I'm so happy for you, Brooke.
Thank you.
I'm Brooke's aunt as well, her Aunt Jenny, and I thought my first memory was she was my very first niece or nephew to have, and how exciting it was that a sister and I could share our children together and going to Burbank, and Brooke was just this cute little chubby little thing, and you know, taking her to the merry-go-round and pony rides, and it's just, she's special to me. I know we've lived apart for a long time, but she's my very first, and it's special to me to think, wow, she's getting married. Makes me feel a little old too, but it's special, and I'm excited that she's met such a great guy. And you've already gotten a lot of great advice. I don't know what more I can tell you, but I know you'll be great together.
Well, I'm Brooke's aunt number 4. Out of the 5 of the aunts on the mom's side, Heidi and Jeff, and let's see, what was I going to say? Memory. I'm blanking. I'm just so excited about it too. And excited to hear. Why don't you share your
So I was going to share advice. Heidi and I have been through a lot of different adventures with school and moving, and during one of those times, trying to decide what to do next, we spoke with one of our bishops and one of our several bishops, and he.
I was always saying, you decide where we're going to go for this or that during schooling. I'll just follow you. I'll do whatever you think is best.
And he suggested that something that worked good for him and his wife was that they always made decisions together, and that took a little extra effort sometimes to explain things with work and why this might be good or that might be good, and but with that recommendation, we've tried to always make decisions together, and to me it's amazing the insights that I've gained from Heidi and have helped me make decisions, or us make decisions, and so we make decisions together, and you know, and I think as you do that, the Lord comes into those decisions, and feel the Spirit, and you're able to know what to do and what's right. So that's the advice.
Well, we're so excited. I'm so happy for you and Christian, and you guys are a fine couple. But, my memory that I wanted to share was when we met Christian for the first time, 4:30 or 5 a.m. It was kind of dim, and they were on their way to Texas. I was so impressed that they went to church along the way to Texas. That's something I would have wanted to do for our family too, but it's just so neat to see her marry someone from a family that loves the gospel and lives it so much, just like her family. They had a perfect match. So we're so thrilled. Glad we could be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
My name's Nadine, and I'm Christian's sister. And I'm not very good at thinking of advice, so I'm going to share. I did remember the one piece of advice that my grandpa Edward shared when I was sitting at dinner like this, and he said that it's not sad, it's happy, but he said that you both come from great families, and you both have lots of family traditions that are wonderful. And he suggested that you take those together, and in your new family, you have a third of your traditions and a third of your traditions, and then come up with your own too. And that's been it's fun to think about as we've had our family, and just the possibilities of something new that you can create and draw from both good traditions.
My name is Nick Nelson. I'm Nadine's husband, so Christian's brother-in-law. And I remember when Nadine was first telling me about all her siblings before I met any of them or many of them. And Christian was the one who was just good at everything he touched. Like everything he touched, he was just good at. It was like guitar, basketball, just everything. And it's true. It's true. You know, he really is just an outstanding person, and he's going to be a really great friend. And so happy to see you guys celebrating a special day. As for advice, you know, marriage is such a wonderful adventure. It's a long haul, you know, and there's just some of the advice is sort of long-term. And I guess I want to give you one of these sort of long-term pieces of advice, which is, you know, as you go through your marriage, there will be times when you'll both want to do something together, and that's great. There are a lot of activities you like to do together. And there are also activities that you will want to do kind of on your own individually, you know, and to support each other in doing that, and to allowing each other to have your sort of individuality, and especially for you, Christian, to give her opportunities to go out and do things, whether it's book clubs or be involved in organizations, whatever it is, I think can, you know, then when she gets home, you talk about those things, but I think just support each other in doing these, even the things you aren't doing together, support each other in those things as well.
I'm Weston Pratt. I'm Christian's brother and my wife's stepdad. And we were talking on the road trip up here a little bit about what kind of advice we wanted to give. And the first one we wanted to give was make sure you find the right person to marry and get honest. And then the second one was to really enjoy this time you have when it's just you two. When you get a baby, you don't get this the alone time quite as much. It's really special that for us, the first year or so that we had. It's really special. Just enjoy it.
I'm Elizabeth Pratt. I'm Christian's youngest sister. And I guess my memory would be the first time I really met Brooke. I was friends with Brianne growing up. And she always talked about this mysterious older sister who was just like amazing and so wonderful and good at everything she did. And so I was like, honestly, a little bit skeptical. I know sisters love each other, but I was like, there's no way that there can be such a woman out there. Like, the way that she described her was just, it didn't make sense to me. And then I finally met her, and it was all true. She's just so wonderful person. And so yeah, and I love you both. And I would just say, always strive to be the person that the other one fell in love with, and then you'll always be happy because I know how much you guys love each other. And so yeah, congratulations.
And Lizzie, you used to always say, and Christian, he's the perfect one.
Yeah.
You always used to say that.
I'm David Jarman. Well, people know me as Jarman, but I met Christian, how long ago was it? 2 years ago? Ish. Yeah. But Christian's the best friend I've ever had. So when we first met, I used to go over to their house every Friday night and sleep on the couch. And then play basketball or whatever it is the next day with them. But I was gonna say that the night you came home to met Brooke was my event that I remembered. Because I was utterly shocked because Christian and I, we've had numerous conversations about dating and life in general, and so I can't give any advice because I've already given him all my advice, but and he's giving me his too. So, but I was so shocked, and I was frightened, extremely frightened because I'd never seen him so in love, and I thought this isn't Christian friend. So, but it just summer of no regrets this last summer, and it worked out for him. So. But that's it.
All right. I'm Parker Pratt. I'm Christian's older brother, just older than him. And I'm not married. And it's no surprise to anyone here that Christian's getting married before me, I think. For a long time I've looked up to Christian. He's been a great example to me. He's taller than me and better at sports than I am. Better looking than I am. If you're not depressed yet, that's my life. Although Christian is my younger brother, he's always been a really good example to me. And just love you a lot.
Well, I get to follow that. I'm Christian's sister Lauren, and I'm 3 above him, so I'm number 7. And I'm so excited for you guys. If y'all don't know this about Christian, he is all of our favorite. He's just really special, and Christian is just such a fitting name for him because he's the most Christ-like. We all try to live up to him. What is happening? Anyway, I'm just so happy that he found someone so perfect for him. And I want to give my advice. This advice actually is something that Dave made up. Dave is my husband. We've been married for 9.5 years, and he used to do it with his companion on his mission. Every once a week, they'd have a companionship inventory, and they would talk through different areas of the mission where there might be problems. And so he said, let's have a companionship inventory. So every Sunday after church, after the nap, we're all rested, no problems. We would, have different categories that we'd go through. So spiritually, how are we doing? Financially, we just talk about it. And some weeks it was like, oh, we're great. There's nothing at all. And other weeks, something might come up and then I could kind of, instead of attack him with it, I could save it, think about it, put myself in his situation. This is a new situation, we've never gone through this, kind of think through it, and then companionship inventory after Sunday, after a nap, your mind's clear and you can just really talk about it how you want to talk about it, and just get through all these new situations where you're still learning to get to know each other. So that's my advice.
I'm Brittany. I'm Brooke's little sister. I'm afraid I'm going to cry. Brooke has always been there for me since we were little, and she's been my role model and just the perfect older sister, and I've just always wanted to be like her. And we've dreamed about getting married since we were little and playing Barbies and house, and I'm just so happy this is finally happening for her. Not that it's been but we've just been dreaming about this for so long and talking about it, and I'm so happy for you, Brooke. And I have an older sister, and I have a younger sister and a younger brother, but I've never had an older brother, so welcome to the family, Christian, and comfort you guys.
Okay, so I'm Brad, and I'm Brooke's little brother. Only brother. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Brooke's just awesome, and she's always been like my second mom and my best friend, and I love her a lot, and I'm really happy she's getting married, and you guys are just awesome examples to me, and I want to be like you when I grow older.
Alright. I wanted to kind of mention, I talked about how Christian's good at
This is Foster, by the way.
everything. I'm Foster. I'm Christian's little brother. Sorry. That's seriously. Yeah, I look up to my brother a lot, and yeah, I do have something unique in that Brooke and I were in the same seminary class senior year. I don't know if anyone else has a connection like that. And we went to high school together. And apparently she has a memory that we kind of like were stalkers in seminary or something like that. I don't remember that. I remember being pretty but anyway, that's okay, now I can talk. But I kind of came into the world and, you know, it's a little baby. And then all of a sudden there's this brother, and he was good at, sorry, this is weird. Anyway, he really is good at everything. But most importantly, he has a strong testimony, and he really strengthened my testimony all growing up, because that was his greatest thing about him. And so, I'll leave it at that.
I'm Brienne. I'm Brooke's little sister. Other little sister. Just as Liz said, she's always been perfect in my eyes. I'm just so happy for you. I'm sorry. I look like a dork right now. I'm just so happy that you guys know each other, and sorry. And every night when I do my nighttime prayers, I always say I'm grateful that Brooke and Christian both made the right choices all their life, so that they can go to the temple together. I'm just so happy for you guys to be able to be together forever. And my advice would, my advice would be to remember to always say I love you before going to bed, no matter what happened that day. And I love you guys.
Love you, Annie.
Well, I'm Bill Davis, Steve's father, I guess the patriarch of the Davis family. This is the first time I had an opportunity to meet this young man, but by all the testimonies here, obviously he must be a good guy, so we'll let that go that way. Now you take the one on his right there. Now the first time I ever saw that young lady was right up the hill. Am I pointing in the right direction, Steve? Up the hill there, she was about the size of that one right over there. And her and her mom and dad were living in an apartment up here. And her dad was going to school, her mom was working down here at the brick oven. And the next time I saw her was in Burbank, and she made me totally, to this day, dislike the movie Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. She had this recording of it, she'd run it halfway through, and then she'd look at this, Grandpa, and we'd start all over. And about the 14th time, you know, I was about ready to jump off the rail of the second-story apartment there. But anyway, so then Brooke grew up and became the lovely young lady that she is. And, about a year and a half ago or so, she called up one night. We live in Montgomery, Alabama, and she called up one night, was all upset. A relationship that she had been in prior to Christian had just come apart, and her grandmother and I told her that she was looking too hard. If she just back away and relax and let nature take its course, the right guy would come by. And lo and behold, what has happened, Brooke? He came by, right? Okay. The advice that I would give them, my wife and I will be married 50 years here in another couple of months, is it's always a we situation, all right? Any way you spell marriage, there's no I in it, okay? It's got to be a we situation. As my granddaughter said here, you know, you always tell each other you love each other because you never know what's going to happen, okay? So you always tell them, give each other a hug, and always tell each other that you love each other. And I wish nothing but the best for the both of you. I think you'll make a fine couple, and my congratulations to both of you.
I am Christian's Aunt Cheryl. I'm his mother's brother's wife. And I'm going to do the memory and he's going to do the advice. So we had the opportunity of having Christian work on our home. We built a home about 4 years ago. And Christian and his brothers came out and helped us work on it. And the thing I remember about Christian is he was so meticulous in everything he did. It was just done perfectly. And he did, we had these columns that we were in the front of our house. Do you remember working on those? And Christian, everyone was done absolutely perfectly. It took a while, but it was done just beautifully. And to this day, I walk out on my porch and I think of you. I look at my columns and how perfectly they're done. And so we had an opportunity to get to know Christian as he would work on our home, and I just really grew to love him, as I have all of your children. But I just have a special feeling for Christian, and I tried to get him into my family, because I have a niece, and I was trying to line him up with her. And it never worked, and it's okay, because she's getting married tomorrow, too, in the Salt Lake Temple. And she found a wonderful guy on her own, and he found a wonderful girl on his own. And so I can't imagine a better couple. And you know what I love seeing is Christian so in love. And it's just so funny. It's not funny, it's great. And I love seeing it. It's just, I've never seen him. He's always kind of a skeptic when it comes to girls, and there's always something wrong, but not with Brooke. And it's been fun to see. I've loved it. And the other memory I'd like to share about, especially Christian, but Brooke too, is we've adopted these two little girls. And I think Christian is the first one that our little Kate really, in the family, that she really took to. And for some reason, she recognized a good person. And she would just come up and hold open her arms and give you a hug. And she didn't do that to very many people at the beginning, and she didn't. She was a good guy. So anyway, I'm just so happy for you. You're such a great couple, and we hope to see a lot more of you.
On this side of the table, and you're there with Brooke, and you're ready to give your advice, maybe you shouldn't describe marriage as a long haul. Number two, make sure you don't buy Sharpie pens until you're positive you will not have young children in your home. And lastly, and this is advice that I need to take, but Cheryl's been very good about this, is, you know, and always say your thank you and that kind of stuff, but really take the opportunity to celebrate the times that you should celebrate the other person. So their birthday and at anniversaries, and especially those 2 times a year and at Christmas. Take those times to really show that, and I am so bad at this, like I forget birthdays. sometimes.
He did.
I have.
Totally forgot my birthday.
But our marriage, it's gone like that. It hasn't been phone calls. But she is so good about that, and it is something. It really warms your, you always feel love toward your spouse, but it's an opportunity to really celebrate the other person. And so at birthdays and Christmas anniversaries, take that opportunity, just do that little extra, make the handmade card or make the giant sugar cookie with icing on it, and those things really mean a lot.